How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Harry Potter figure. So you can see the front of the packaging has a nice pattern with the name and the series is from, and you have a nice window display of the actual figure inside, and you can see all the various accessories he comes with. And overall the box itself is really nice. It's smaller than the usual Figuarts box by quite a bit, but overall it's a very nice looking box. Like the materials feels very soft and textury. It has a very nice premium sort of feel to it. And you have all these nice botanical sort of designs that is reminiscent of the show. And overall the packaging is just really nice. So moving on to the side, you have a nice illustration of the figure. And then the other side, name. And then top you can see more into the figure. Then bottom, some Japanese legal stuff, and then the back, which has nice illustrations of the figure and what the accessories he comes with, and then more Japanese legal stuff. And then to open the box, you simply just lift open the side flap, like so, and then you just pull out the figure. Like so. So firstly, he does come with some instructions just showing what the figure comes with and how to operate the accessories. It looks complicated, but it's actually really simple and it's pretty self-explanatory. And then to open the figure, you just simply lift open the front cover. And then you do the same for the second layer. And there we have the figure all together with its accessories. So here's the actual figure itself. And this is actually a figure that utilizes the Bandai's face printing technology. So if you look close at the face, I have to say it definitely looks like the actor from the show. Like it just definitely really looks like him at that time. And it definitely captures the essence of the character really well. Just an incredible job at the likeness. And then for the rest of the body, for the most part, it's a very simple sculpt. But it's still nice overall. You can see all the nice creases in the robe. And then the hood itself is all creased. So it looks pretty realistic. And you move into the actual clothes, they like have creases and folds, and again they look pretty realistic. You can see all the sculpt work in the pants as well. And moving down to the shoes, you see all the individual shoelaces, and then the tiles on the bottom. And there isn't a whole lot of paintwork, but what paintwork there is actually really nice and clean. So the parts that are painted is mainly around the collar. So you have the nice tie in there, then you have the nice yellow pattern, and then this piece of the Gryffindor symbol is actually just printed on, but overall it still looks really nice. And moving on to the face, I believe the eyes and the eyebrows are 3D painted on as well. And the hair itself, it's mainly just molded in black and it has a glossy finish. But it does have some nice layers of texturing and some highlights to bring out the strands of hair. So for the most part, it's a very nice looking figure. And then taking a closer look at the glasses, they're actually sculpted onto the face itself rather than a separate piece. So it can look a bit awkward at certain angles, but all in all, it still works very well, I feel. And for articulation, the neck is on a double ball joint, so you can look down about that much. And this bottom part of the hair is actually a separate piece, so it kind of looks more natural when he looks down. So it kind of extends the hair. And then he can look up about that much, which is quite a bit. And he can tilt his head side to side and also twist. And for the shoulders, it's on a ball joint. that's connected deep into the torso. And then there's this piece that kind of cups around to hide the joint. So you can move that around quite a bit. And then it's also on a hinge. You can bring his arm out all the way. And then it can go forward. But because of the robe, it does kind of hinder it from going straight outwards. So it's always kind of at an angle. And that's kind of the same going back as well. There's a swivel as well that can swivel around that ball joint. And then he's got a single jointed elbow. So you can get just a bit over 90-degree bend. But it's also connected onto a ball joint deep into the forearm. So you can kind of just move that around slightly. And then that can offer as a twist as well, to twist the arm around. But it does break the sculpt a little bit. And then the hands itself are on ball joints. So it's actually sort of a small double ball joint. So you can move that hand quite a bit, which has a lot of motion, gives a lot of range. And the robe itself is actually softer material than the rest of the figure, but it's still pretty strong. So even though he has all this articulation, he's going to be pretty limited still. But for the torso itself, it's on a double ball joint, so you can lean forward about that much, and then he can lean back, but because of the robe, it's kind of restricting. And then he can lean side to side, but again, the robe restricts it. He can twist, and then the hips are on ball joints, so you can bring his leg out about that much. And this piece is a softer material, so it allows for a bit more range. And then he can kick forward, and then can kick back as well, but the robe blocks it. And then he can swivel, and then he's got the single jointed knee, but the way it's sculpted still makes it look pretty natural. And then he's got the ball jointed ankles, so he can go back about that much and then go forward just about that much. But because of this piece of the leg, it restricts it a bit. But it is slightly softer material, so it can allow for a bit more movement, but not a whole lot. And then his ankles can swivel as well, and can twist, and then there's the toe hinge. So for the most part, the figure has all the articulation you'd expect the Figuarts figure would have, but because of his robe, it does pretty much make him pretty much a cone for the most part. So for the most of poses, he's just going to be pretty static in his poses. But he does come with an interchangeable robe, which allows for more posing, which I'll get to in a bit. But yeah, that's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. So for accessories, the figure comes with a pair of open hands, which come on default in the packaging. He comes with 2 hands to hold his wand, 2 open hands to hold his books, 2 more open hands to hold his broom. And then for faces, he comes with a default smiling face, which comes in the packaging. And then he comes with a face which is just a stoic stare. You can actually see how the scar is actually sculpted into the forehead. Again, it really captures the likeness of the actor. And you get a gritting face. Again, very accurate to the actor. And then he comes with a storage of books, which are nicely sculpted, and they have that nice white painted in between the gaps. And he comes with his wand, a very simple sculpt. It looks pretty nice. And then he comes with Hedwig, which is again very nicely sculpted. You can see all the feathers are sculpted in to add in the texture. And then moving closer to the eyes, they're both painted. They look very clean. And then same for the feet as well. You can see all the claws are painted in. And then the wings themselves are attached on by ball joints. So he does have very slight articulation. But the main purpose is that you can swap out his wings. So he comes with a pair of open wings. You can see all the feathers are individually sculpted. They look really nice. And then you can just swap out the wing and then just plug in the new one like so. And then Hagrid does have a hole here, which is for a Tamashii stand so that he can make him look flying. And then I forgot to mention, but his head's also on a swivel, so you can move his head around like so. And then he comes with his Nimbus 2000 broom. And you can see how the end of it is just very nicely sculpted to represent all the strands. And it has highlights in there to bring out the detail. And then the footing itself is painted in nice gold. And then it's also in a hinge. And then moving up, you can see the logo is actually printed on there. So it just looks really nice overall. And then finally he comes with the interchangeable robe. So this piece, rather than have it all straight down, is actually sort of in the wind blowing. So you can see all the folds and creases, which makes it look pretty realistic. And once you apply this onto the figure, it allows the figure pretty much his whole range of motion in articulation. But the main purpose of this robe is so that you can have Harry ride on the broom. And then to swap out the robe, you just simply pull out both arms, like so. They're pretty easy to detach. And then you just gently pull away the robe. And then you just apply the new robe, and you can see there's a little hole here, which is for this part to plug in. So you just interchange the robe on. And then you just reapply the arms. And like I said before, this allows the rest of his body or his range of motion, so you can really give him some more dynamic poses because the robe is no longer hindering him. So my final thoughts are, if you're a huge fan of this character or the show itself, then I highly recommend getting this figure. Definitely looks like the actor a lot and really captures the essence of the character. But the figure is actually quite small than the usual figure art size, but that's because it's in the nature of the character himself, so I don't really see that as too much of a problem overall. And the figure has a nice sculpt, really nice likeness to the actor. It comes with a wealth of decent accessories, and again, if you're a fan of this series, then I'm sure you won't be disappointed with the purchase. But that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.